This video is powered by USAGundam. Visit USAGundamstore.com and enter the code JOEY10 to receive 10% off your next purchase. Alright, so here we have the Kyrios so far. I just kind of want to recap on basically up to this point. And as you probably noticed in this work in progress video, I didn't really show myself actually scribing a whole lot. I kind of figured I scribed on camera quite a bit through the last couple of work in progresses, and this time I just really wanted to make a good chunk of progress. So I went ahead and did the actual scribing work off camera, and admittedly, it was a lot easier. I am very new at scribing, and having that extra concentration without having to worry about the camera angles and all that good stuff really did help. So I mean, I hope that, you know, this video was still fun to watch even without me actually scribing on it. I guess let me know in the comments if you guys really do want to see me actually scribing, and I will do my best in the next work in progress for the arms and weapons and stuff to show myself doing some more of that. But either way, this is the result of this work in progress's video. The lines, like I said in the last ones, I'm kind of keeping this one more simple and using the lines for more of a color guide, I would say. So like this line here on the side here is going to make it where it's going to be nice to have a color differentiation between the main plating and the plating around these chest vents and stuff like that, and just to add some really cool aesthetic detail and stuff like that. You know, these would be like two separate pieces and then the piece up here. So, I mean, all in all, I'm pretty happy with what's going on here, especially since, you know, this is my first real scribing adventure. And just like I did down here with the leg, I wanted to do away with those little ribbon strips and stuff and add in actual mechanical detail where those were. So I think that's a pretty cool little detail in there. It actually kind of resembles something that would actually let it like swing back and forth, which is pretty cool. And on the head itself, you know, I went pretty minimalistic on that too. I actually engraved out the top and bottom section of that centerpiece to make it really look like it was actually a separate piece put over top of this panel here, and then added a line to make this little spiky bit on the bottom a separate piece, and a little bit of color separation on the top headpiece there. I ended up shortening up the whatever you would call this in the back, the mohawk, I guess, a lot more than I did in the actual video. I actually cut it a second time, and I really like the look of that a lot better. It goes with the head crest modification a little bit better, I think. As you can see here, the head crest being a lot more flat and condensed really does wonders, I think, for the headpiece on this kit. So, like I said, all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. You know, the scribing on the panel here, and I actually did scribe a line right here to add a little bit more color separation on this piece. So, oh, and to touch on these little bitty pieces here are, of course, from the USAGundam Apex parts. And I think, you know, it was just really plain having nothing on the front of there. So I found these little parts and put them on, and I think that just adds a little cool detail. It just adds a little bit more detail, a little bit more opportunity when it comes to paint. Now, when it comes to the back here, I'm still throwing out the ideas to myself whether or not to use a couple of Apex pieces on this, but honestly, this thing here is pretty well detailed already. So that's why I really didn't do really anything to it. But after priming it, honestly, it looks pretty good. So I may just leave this alone and do like little color separation with the paint anyway, with the lines that are already on it, because like I said, it's got pretty good detail already. And, you know, I still want to be able to maintain its ability to go over the head and stuff to transform, maybe. There is a couple little things here and there that I'm going to have to touch on before actual painting. Like up here, it's hard to see on camera, but there's a little divot that I accidentally made during sanding that I'm just going to have to fill in and stuff like that. So there's little areas here and there that need some attention before paint, but that's the good thing about rough priming. as I like to call it, because it's kind of like a rough draft. You write it out, then you see the imperfections, and you make the final cut afterwards. So that's kind of what this is. It's just a rough priming, not trying to get too pretty or anything, just enough to bring out the details and see where the imperfections and stuff like that are, and see where the good stuff is. So that's pretty much going to do it for this one. So a like and subscribe would be appreciated if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.